The grand ballroom buzzed with the chatter of Manhattan's elite, crystal chandeliers casting prismatic light across polished mahogany tables. But all eyes were on the CEO as he leaned back in his chair, smirking at the unassuming waitress standing quietly by the dessert cart. He had expected timid compliance, a girl who would nod and scurry, but instead, she moved with a calm precision, arranging plates and silverware with a composure that challenged the room's hierarchy without a single word. Guests whispered, phones flickering with captured glimpses of the scene. As the CEO's smirk faltered when she paused, her gaze briefly locking with his, and the silence that followed was heavier than any announcement, more potent than any performance he could have orchestrated. The waitress's poised stillness drew out a tension that clutched at the edges of the wealthy diner's confidence, forcing the CEO to acknowledge, perhaps for the first time, that appearances were deceiving. Then came the subtle action. She lifted a glass of wine to the right guest, adjusted a chair, and, with a slight tilt of her head, corrected a misaligned place setting, small gestures that spoke volumes louder than words. The CEO's eyes narrowed. This was no ordinary server, no ordinary interaction, and yet he remained silent, caught between curiosity and the sting of underestimation. The camera-like focus of the room followed every measured movement, capturing the collective gasp when she intervened to prevent a guest from knocking over a delicate dessert tower, her fingers steady, her expression unreadable, commanding respect through the sheer weight of competence and quiet authority. A subtle ripple ran through the crowd, the whisper of realization spreading. This woman had seen and understood the unspoken rules, the hidden dynamics, the fragile egos, and she navigated it all without raising her voice. And then, just as the CEO opened his mouth, preparing to reassert dominance, she moved on to the next table, leaving a faint trace of awe, a silent challenge that reverberated through the room, exposing the inadequacy of arrogance and the potency of humility. The guests leaned forward, the CEO's hand froze mid-gesture, and in that pregnant pause, the unspoken truth landed. She was ordinary in the eyes of none but him, and that misjudgment had just unraveled the illusion of power he clung to. The final beat of the scene hovered on her retreating figure, the camera capturing the quiet dignity, the subtle sway of her movements, the impression of a storm barely restrained, leaving the audience suspended, craving the next revelation, the untold layers beneath the poised exterior, the story of a woman whose silence spoke louder than any decree, and a CEO forced to reckon with the world he thought he controlled.